Hi, I'm Ron Hutter. I am the Regional General Manager for the Kunes Sycamore region, and today we are going to be doing a Kunes car convos with the VAC, Voluntary Action Center of Sycamore and DeKalb, and I am joined here today with Amber and Cammie. Amber, can you take a second and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Amber. I am the Meals on Wheels Program Manager of Sycamore. I'm here with Cammie.
Hi, Cammie Loving, Marketing and Outreach Manager.
And today we are going to be delivering some Meals on Wheels with our 2023 Chrysler Pacifica, and we are going to get out there and get some people some food. Amber, what motivated you to become involved in the Voluntary Action Center, and how did you first get started?
Sure. So I grew up in Sycamore. Moved here when I was in third grade with my family, and I knew the area really well. And when I decided to go to school after I finished high school, I found myself at NIU in their nonprofit and NGO studies program. So of course I was really interested in the nonprofits in the area, seeing how I could get involved in them. And I started working at Meals on Wheels as an assistant. And from there, kind of worked my way into the manager of program role, which I've really enjoyed. But I've known Voluntary Action Center, had been here for a while. It's been around since 1974, and so there's a great reputation for Voluntary Action Center. And I knew I wanted to do something with older adults and in the scope of nutrition, so I decided to get involved as I was a student, graduated, and then stuck around with VAC after that.
Awesome. Cammie, can you provide an overview of the mission and goals of the Voluntary Action Center?
Absolutely. So, as Amber had mentioned, Voluntary Action Center was founded in 1974, so woohoo, 50 years here. And it was actually founded as a volunteer clearinghouse, a way to potentially connect volunteers who are interested in serving the DeKalb Sycamore community. And it was quickly realized that what was lacking was transportation and nutrition services. So that's how it morphed into what it is present day, in that the idea is to provide basic nutrition and transportation to those who are 60 or better, is how I like to say it, or individuals who are disabled.
Interesting. Okay. Amber, what does the center identify and address the needs of the community it serves?
Yeah, so just kind of bouncing off what Cammie said there, transportation and nutrition are our main focuses. But for my world in nutrition, of course, we're looking at malnutrition, the inability to get groceries or groceries or food into a senior's home, and kind of the ability to prepare that or that lack of. So we're trying to fill that gap here with our meal service, so that each senior we serve or adult with disability has one nutritionally round meal per day, ensuring that they're getting at least one meal, fill them up for the day.
Awesome. Thanks.
Just arrived here at our first stop.
Yeah.
So we'll send Cammie up.
Cammie's going to head up, and these people are the ones that are willing to get on camera?
They are, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let's jump out and do that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Brewer. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hi, Mr. Brewer. How are you? I'm Ron.
Hi, Rod.
Nice to meet you.
Same here.
Yeah, very nice. Cammie said that you guys are really nice people in the community here, so she said you'd be a good one to meet for me.
Well,
First time ever doing Meals on Wheels.
I don't do dad jokes, but I do dad quotes.
Oh, okay, I'll take it. I love dad jokes, so I'm that guy.
I'll give you a dad quote for the spring, okay?
Okay.
6 words. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Plant smiles,
Plant smiles,
grow laughter,
grow laughter,
harvest love.
harvest love.
God loves you.
God loves me.
Great.
He loves us all.
Thank you.
Thank you for your volunteer
Thank you,
work.
Don. Appreciate
Bye.
you.
There are 2 surveys in there. If you have a chance to send them back, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
It was nice meeting you.
Tell Nancy
If you
we
ever
said
need
hi.
anything, come see us, okay?
You want the
Have a
dad
good
joke, or the dad joke then?
day. Sure, I'll take dad joke too. Absolutely.
The daughter comes up to her dad and says, "I'm cold." Dad says, "Go stand in a corner. It's 90 degrees."
I love it. Have a good day, Don. Bye-bye. That was a very cool interaction.
Yeah.
It really was.
So that's what Meals on Wheels is really all about. Of course, we provide the meal, but we're also a wellness check. So getting to see that senior at the door and kind of interact with them, ask how they're doing, make sure that they're doing okay. And if they need anything, we can provide them extra resources. So it's a meal and a wellness check all in one.
What are some of the things they ask for? Do you guys get that often?
We do, yeah. You know, it's a wide range of things. Sometimes it's something as simple as, you know, I'm having a hard time getting transportation to get to the doctor. Do you know anyone in the area that might give a ride? Which then we can refer them to either Transvac or the other transportation company in the area, Transdev. Sometimes it's something as complex as I need help figuring out Medicare. I don't know what to do and I don't understand the pamphlets. And we can send them to one of our partner agencies like Elder Care Services and get them some help there. So it's, you know, it's a wide range. Sometimes it's just as simple as needing to kind of vent about their day, needing to know that somebody's there to listen. And our volunteers do a great job of really being there for all the needs that they might have.
That's super cool. Looks like we're at our second stop.
We sure are.
That was close.
Super close.
Cami, you're doing this one on your own?
Yeah, I can handle it, I think.
But yes, so our volunteer routes are set up to be efficient and time sensitive for our volunteers. So most routes take anywhere from about an hour at max, an hour and a half. A lot of our volunteers come during their lunch break at work and kind of share their lunch by delivering to seniors. So we try to be sensitive of the time commitment and also the mileage that they're driving on the route.
And so it's common for them to come every day, a volunteer?
We have a lot of volunteers that are regulars, so while they might not come Monday through Friday, they might do all Mondays in the month or all Tuesdays. We have several volunteers that have been with us for over 5 years, delivering the same route on the same days, that have just been really consistent. And we're so lucky to have that because they really get to develop relationships with the clients and get to know the area, and kind of get to know what to look out for in the clients as well.
It sounds to me like you guys are delivering food, but it sounds like you're more getting to know these people and actually affecting their hearts more than you are anything. Is that right?
Absolutely. Loneliness in seniors is a real issue, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Isolation has become a real problem. And with our meals, we aim to at least have that one interaction because in the reality of it, that might be the only interaction they have all day with someone in person. So it's definitely one of our concerns is having that quality social interaction at every visit.
It's more of a mental health than it is nutrition sometimes.
Certainly, yes. And that's, you know, mental, physical, nutrition, that's overall wellness. And we're really focused on that, what we can do to enhance that in our community.
Does Meals on Wheels only go to elderly or does it do all ages?
Yes, so we also serve adults with disabilities. Those adults with disabilities have to go through the Department of Rehabilitation Services to receive authorization to receive our meals. The reason for that is because Meals on Wheels is an Older Americans Act funded program, so we're able to accept individuals over the age of 60. However, we can expand our services to those with disabilities once they receive authorization through the state because we're a federally funded program.
Okay, awesome. And Cami, how do you collaborate with local organizations, businesses, and government agencies to maximize your impact?
All right, so we are closely knitted with, I guess you could say, several other agencies, but then something just most recently and still happening, we've collaborated with some restaurants and some bars. They have supported us for years. PJ's Downtown Sycamore just hosted their 4th annual Flannel Fest, and their Flannel Fest, part of their proceeds, we're going to go to us. So we're excited to receive those supporting monies. And then currently during the Lenten season, we are going to be a beneficiary from Lincoln Inn at Verandas. They do Friday night fish fries. And if you go and tell your server that you want your 10% of your dining experience to go to us, we're gonna get some proceeds out of people just enjoying their fish fry Fridays.
Awesome. That is really cool. So you guys are collaborating with not only government organizations, but you're doing local businesses as well.
Sycamore, DeKalb, you name it. Yep.
That's so cool. Yeah. Cami, one more thing I have for you is, can you share a success story or an example of specific projects or initiatives that you've had significant positive impact on the community?
Yeah, and this one's kind of a, touch your heartstrings in a different way. we get connected with another local nonprofit to provide fresh cut flowers during the summer months, let's say. So it's a kind of a double whammy of collaboration, triple whammy if I'm going to say it right. So this local nonprofit would arrange flowers that they just cut from their garden.
Okay.
And we then had Opportunity House, it's a local another local agency here, picked up those flowers from this nonprofit location, delivered the flowers to us, and then say, for example, today on our route, we would take those flowers and we would deliver them to the Meals on Wheels clients. So it was, again, a triple connection there of agencies, and the end result was just some flowers that you could put in a glass on your table. Bring the beauty from outside inside.
Bring the joy of the. I mean, I understand it's during the summer, but man, could we ever use that in the winter, right?
I think a really great
smiles.
impact story to share from that too is I had a woman tell me how happy she was to receive the flowers because she couldn't work in her garden any longer,
Oh,
and how nice it was to just have fresh flowers on her kitchen table.
so sad.
It was so sweet though, because she was so happy to have that
Right,
and kind of touch back on memories in her life. So that was great.
Yeah, and do you guys ever get stuck with a bunch of stories while you're with these people?
Oh goodness, yes. And I
would
think it touches back on that isolation topic. Sometimes it's so hard to walk away from a story.
Right.
But our clients are so eager to talk with us and let us know, how their day's going and what happened over the weekend and what they're happy about or what they're struggling with. And really, we're a pair of ears to listen. And sometimes we do have to cut it short because we got to get back on the route and kind of be mindful of our other deliveries. But it's great to share that time with them.
I'm sure it is. How cool. Cami, how do you raise awareness within the community about volunteer opportunities and the services provided by the center?
So there's probably 592 different events you could go to.
Wow.
Daily, monthly. There's so many things happen in the Sycamore DeKalb area. So that's what we plug into. We plug into the DeKalb County Community Foundations. We plug into DeKalb County Nonprofit Association. We go to meetings, we go to expos. But those are the things we go to get the words out about us, to raise awareness about funding and things like that. That's what we do with our fundraisers. So there's so many different ways, albeit just to have a conversation about what Volunteer Action Center does, Meals on Wheels and Transvac. But then we also try to make sure that we are upfront in the fact that some of these events that we go to and attend or even host are going to be things to raise funds, which in turn raises awareness.
Yeah, I think everybody expects some sort of organization like this who doesn't create an income to ask for money some way, shape, or form. I mean, I would think that. Yeah, absolutely. Amber, what challenges have you encountered in running the Voluntary Action Center, and how have you addressed them?
Sure. So there's always a need for volunteers. We have a wonderful group of volunteers that come in and day out to deliver our meals, but we are always looking for more volunteers that are willing to come and deliver meals for an hour to an hour and a half out of their day and get these meals to seniors and adults with disabilities in our community. But along with that, a challenge is also funding. We receive federal funding, but we also match that federal funding with in-kind donations, and it's always difficult to fundraise and get enough money that we need to support the programs.
What is a minimum donation for you guys? Is there a minimum?
There is no minimum donation, no. So we accept anything. And everything goes right back to our programming, right back to the food that we buy to serve to our clients, the resources and materials that we need to operate Meals on Wheels every day. So there is no minimum donation for anyone who is looking to donate.
So Amber, how much per meal does it cost VAC, Voluntary Action Center, to actually bring these people a meal every day? How much does it cost just for the food?
Sure. So it's about $4 per meal. That meal includes the hot component and the cold component. And these are nutritionally round meals that are approved by a dietitian. And the federally funded program has outlines of what we serve in those meals as well. And in addition to that, we serve about 300 to 350 clients per day, these home delivered meals. So when you add that all up, it is a significant cost there to get all those meals out.
Wow. Yeah, that's a fair amount of money per day.
Absolutely.
And you said that most of your funding comes from the community. So that takes quite a few people to make up one day's run of food, I would think.
Absolutely. We have 17 different routes that we deliver. 14 of those are all fulfilled by volunteers. So on any given day, we could have anywhere from about 14 to 28 volunteers coming in to pick up the meals and deliver them out to communities in the county. And I say 14 to 28 because typically a lot of our volunteers deliver in pairs. So you have one person driving and one person running food like we are today. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy to think that you rely on. I mean, quite honestly, it's not a guaranteed revenue stream. And so you got to be out there pushing the word of VAC all the time. Cammie, I mean, absolutely. you do most of the social media and stuff, correct?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you guys? How are you pushing your vision and donations?
We tell the story of the people. We tell the story of why someone so appreciated the flowers. We tell the story of getting a ride and why that has made it easier for them to get to the doctor and have consistent doctor visits in order to, hey, let's say maybe it's dialysis 2-3 times a week on that capacity, and we provide that security blanket for them. So we use those stories to tell, because dollars and cents are huge, but if you can tell a story that how dollars and cents helped, that sometimes impacts more.
Sure does. Definitely opens up people's hearts, especially if they can see it in action.
Absolutely.
They can see you changing somebody's life in just the simple delivery of a meal.
Perfect. I think this is our last stop here.
I can't believe you have this all memorized.
It's amazing. When I was a Meals on Wheels assistant, I would go out and deliver all the routes, and I have delivered all but 2 of them before. So I know them pretty well.
Amazing. Yeah, what happens if you don't have enough volunteers for the day? I mean, you guys go do it?
We have a set of volunteers that are kind of like our substitutes per se, and they are volunteers that are willing to come in at any moment if needed. So we have those volunteers, and then we also have transvac drivers, so folks that work in our transportation department that can come over last minute if we're really struggling to find somebody and get the meals out. What's great about Meals on Wheels is that we deliver Monday through Friday, no matter what. So whatever we have to do to get that route out, we will do it. Because we don't want anyone to miss their meal. And it's rare that they do.
You guys are almost like the mail service.
We are.
Rain,
it's often brought up when we have to consider emergency weather. We're like the mail. We deliver all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of emergency services, I mean, Cammie, we were talking a little bit off camera at one point, and you had mentioned, what do you guys do in these situations where roads are closed and you can't deliver a meal? Is there anything you guys can do with that?
Yeah, actually, we follow a directive by Area Agency on Aging that actually says we are required to provide a supply of non-perishables, and I think we've only had to do it a couple times, but what they're getting in this non-perishable box is the ability to have a meal, even though we have chosen to err on the side of safety and not send the volunteers out. So yeah, we've had opportunities to still serve even though technically we're closed.
Is this like a snowstorm or tornado warnings or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Back in January, a lot of people in the area remember that wet, heavy snow that we had, and then just icy conditions. we always are thinking about, obviously, the clients, but we also have to consider, again, those volunteers. A lot of the volunteers are going to be individuals who may be retired. They may be able to do it on their lunch hour and have to do it quickly, and we just have to be mindful of the fact that, like, the people we are serving probably are not going to get out right away and salt down those 2 or 3, 4 steps. So we have to be kind to everyone and just, again, mindful of the fact that safety is the first and foremost about everything when it comes to this program.
Sure, absolutely. I could understand that. So Amber, the majority of your clients, I guess they would be called, they're elderly. I mean, other than food, does this help them stay in their homes longer?
Absolutely, yes. And that is one of our biggest focuses in providing the meal and the wellness check, is allowing these individuals to live at home independently longer. So instead of transitioning to an assisted living or a memory care community, they have the ability to stay at home, whether that's just with having the wellness check from us or also having a caregiver for support. But then they have the peace of mind knowing that someone's going to be there Monday through Friday to make sure that they're doing okay, that they have all their needs met. And in addition to that they're eating a well-rounded meal each day.
Okay. So Cammie, how could somebody volunteer? What does that process look like to become a volunteer?
It's actually pretty easy. You think you got to do 42 things to volunteer some places, but honestly, right now we are call and ask. But we are going to be having a different opportunity up here soon where we're going to be launching a new website. So teaser on that. And the website is going to actually have the ability to have someone say they want to sign up to volunteer and they're using their smartphone or something like that. And you'll have the ability to just go in and register. So that's really the first step is to make either the phone call or, as I said, go in and register, because the Amber's going to give you a buzz. She's going to say, hey, cool, we appreciate everything you can do. We love that you're interested. Where do you live? And how can we pair you with the route in the neighborhood? Maybe you don't live in Sycamore, you live in DeKalb, vice versa.
Right.
And that's the best part about this opportunity, is to pair you with the place you want to go.
Well, and not only that, you already know that community, so it's probably easier for you to get around a little bit, I would think. Yeah, absolutely. And if somebody wanted to donate, how do they go about donating to you guys? Is that?
Yeah, so lots of different options, and I've said this time and time again. You could donate to the cause in general. You could say, hey, I'm interested in just donating to Voluntary Action Center. Or you could literally say, hey, what I'd like to do is earmark this donation specifically for Meals on Wheels, because maybe their brother in another state receives it or something like that, and they just know that's where they send the money to Meals on Wheels. We'll do that. We'll do specifically designated donation.
So underneath the umbrella of Volunteer Action Center, there is the Meals on Wheels, but there's a couple other things that are involved in that as well, correct?
Yeah, we are the, lack of better description, is rural transportation for DeKalb County. We didn't touch on this on much, maybe this will be another episode, but we actually are way down in Sandwich, because that's DeKalb County, and we have transportation and Meals on Wheels down there. And then we serve the rural areas of DeKalb County. So I always use the example, if someone lives in, say, Genoa, and they need to go to dialysis in Sycamore, we're going to be that ride. Trans-Back is going to be that ride. If someone is looking to stay within the urban area of DeKalb, Sycamore, Cortland, that would be more in the public transportation operated by the city of DeKalb.
Okay, all right. And so there's really two main areas of VAC, is that correct?
You got it, transportation and nutrition.
And nutrition, okay. All right, and let's see, what else can we ask? There was one more thing.
I'll jump on that too, because we didn't really touch on our congregate luncheon sites, but we also have 4 congregate luncheon sites, and these are places where seniors can go to quite literally congregate with each other and enjoy a lunch together. So we have 4 locations, one down in Sandwich, one in Malta, one in DeKalb, and another in DeKalb. So 2 different locations in the city of DeKalb. These are open to seniors over the age of 60 and their caregivers, and it's a place that you can go, again, share a meal with someone, socialize. At a few of our sites, they play games like bingo. They have all kinds of different activities going on to kind of spend your afternoon out and about if you have the ability to get out and about. That's something we didn't really touch on, I think.
That's cool.